There it is. We're a little bit late, Jordan.
Yeah, I think we are.
This is not the morning breeze. It's a smooth afternoon breeze, if you will.
Afternoon delight.
Pat and Jordan in the afternoon. Hey, I don't know. Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show of love. As always, Mr. Beat himself, Jordan JC in the building. A lot to get into on today's episode. We're going to talk about Trevon Diggs, but, you know, drop those FGBs. That's the conversation we're having now. Make sure you get all the FGBs in this mug, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. JC, what's going on, my boy?
Oh, man. Looking good. Feeling good, Pat. Just heard the news about Trevon Diggs. That sucks. He's gone to the wrong team. That's all I'll say. He'll be out of the playoffs very soon.
You may not like my thought process on that. We'll talk about that. Of course, talk about the 2 and/or the 3 seed. Which one is going to be better for the Chicago Bears moving forward? And of course, keys to a Chicago Bears victory over the Detroit Lions. All that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's jump into the conversation. As this just happened, I think this is a great conversation for which seed would be better moving forward for the team. Right now, the Chicago Bears in a position right now where they could, of course, go into Detroit or come into Chicago with Detroit coming here. And we know Ben Johnson wants to win. Get that 2 seed, lock it up, move forward, and hope for a chance at a home game here versus the Green Bay Packers, or get the opportunity to go up against either the Rams or San Francisco. If Philly wins, Bears lose, and they lock up the 3 seed. Either way, the Chicago Bears are in the playoffs. I have said this, it is all gravy on top for me. But JC, with the recent news of Trevon Diggs, is there signing with the slackers, the trackers, the Green Bay backers? Oh, we can't say that one. With the recent news of Trevon Diggs signing up there, is there any part of you that's like, you know what? We played the Packers twice. We don't want to add a new wrinkle to the mix. 3 seed would be fine with me.
I'm not afraid of the Packers. I mean, the addition of Trevon Diggs doesn't really move the needle, in my opinion, for them. In a sense where, I mean, the guy who's kind of past his prime, he's had struggles this whole season.
He's 27.
I understand that, but he's past his prime. He should have came back to the guy that made him who he is, in Al Harris, and he missed that opportunity. So now he goes to, the Green Bay Packers, and of course I'm not going to root for him there, but I mean, the fact that, he's only recorded 25 tackles. He has 1 tackle for loss for the season. PFF says he's giving up 17.9 yards per reception when targeted. And so, I mean, what are you going to do with that? That, to me, that's a down year. And that's why I think the Dallas Cowboys were okay with releasing him. Now, I understand the story behind why they released him. That was
weird.
That was weird. Didn't want him to celebrate with his family or whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't get that. But the whole point is,
you love your kids.
Like what?
Excuse me?
I didn't mind. I don't mind them getting him because, again, like I said, to me that doesn't change the fact that I think we're going to go into the playoffs and handle business, whether it's the number 2 seed or the number 3 seed. If we do face the Packers, they have to come here. Everything goes through Chicago for this first playoff game, whoever we play out of the 3 teams that we're going to talk about. And so it just adds more of a wrinkle because, again, there's that connection, like I said, to the DB's coach. You had an opportunity. I'm not sure if the Bears were that interested. I don't know if there were any reports that the Bears, maybe threw out a little bit of a bone to try and see if he wanted to be here. It would have made sense. However, the depth that we have at defensive back is good enough. Kyler Gordon's out for the season. Tariq Stevenson is our 3rd guy on the field now with Nashawn and Jalen back, and so I felt like maybe there's a place that you could put him right there, but we're fine in my opinion.
All right, so running through some of the scenarios that could play out here. Of course, if they win, they're the 2 seed. They get the Green Bay Packers. I agree with you. I'm not running from the Packers. I'm not concerned about the Packers.
No.
Here's the part that does concern me, I guess, if there is anything. They know you very well, just like you know them very well. And we know the competition level and kind of where they're at with that. Probably you would see Jordan Love in that game. And more than likely he would find a way to finish that game, right? When you're not in the playoffs, you play it a little safer, even though it was a concussion, right? We saw Brian Daboll run back in there and say, "Is Dart going to live? Get him back on the field." Like it's a little different in a playoff scenario. So I think that you have to take that into account as well. The flip side of that for me though, is that you kind of have all the same advantages that the Packers have. Trevon Diggs makes this a little bit more interesting going up against Al Harris, but you also have the advantage in Al Harris. Trevon Diggs now becomes, if we're being honest, their best defensive back on the field.
Yeah, better than Keyshawn. Yeah.
That might not be a great thing for the Green Bay Packers. Like, I'm going to be real with you. Because to me, you still have a guy like Trevon Diggs here in Chicago. The takeaway leader is here in Chicago. I know what we just saw defensively. Everybody losing their mind. How are we ever going to win a game versus anybody? We found a way to win 11. Most of them being led by this defense taking the football away. I don't think that we're out of that conversation all of a sudden. But 3 seed is still very interesting, right? I don't expect it to happen, but if the Rams were to lose, they could drop to the 6 seed or would drop to the 6 seed. Rams here in Chicago is an interesting conversation. Now, Ben Johnson has said they're going out there to win this game. Their goal is to win this game. The question is more, what do you like as the outcome here? Because no matter the outcome, you get Rams, you could get Seattle, you could get San Francisco. All 3 West Coast teams coming here to Chicago. I believe as the playoffs get started, the weather is supposed to start to turn a little bit, and cold weather hits you a little bit different when you come here to Chicago.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an out West team. And it would be Philly then versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, I want you to keep winning. I want you to keep rolling. You just took a loss. I think the biggest thing right now is we've seen this Bears team off of a loss go on streaks multiple times here. We've seen them win 3 games in a row off a loss, 4 games in a row. I think we had a 5-game streak in this season, actually. In that, we have 5.
Yeah, 5, and then I think 4.
We did a 4-game streak, lost a 5-game streak, lost, and then I think we won 3 of 5, something like that. I forget exactly how it lays out, but I don't have the schedule in front of me. But I think that the winning momentum that you saw this team build over the season is exactly what you want. You want to go into the Packers. You want to go into that game off of a win, confidence high, off of a divisional win. Hey, not only did we win a game, we won a game versus a team that put 52 on us. And yeah, I don't know if Dan Campbell is going to play, who's going to play and who's not. He already said he's not going to play some of the starters in this game just because of anybody who's injured. He didn't say starters. He said anybody who's injured will not play in this game. Amon-Ra St. Brown is injured. David Montgomery has been dealing with some injury as well. Their defense has been severely banged up. So there's a lot of names that he's not going to force out there. You're still probably facing Jared Goff. You're still probably facing Jahmyr Gibbs. You're still probably facing Aiden Hutchinson in that situation, I would assume. I don't know where his status has been coming into this week, but like, that's still going to be a tough gauntlet for you. And we know Ben Johnson doesn't forget. Ben Johnson is very much like, hey, my boy, you put 52 on us. I got to give you this 52 back. So I think coming off of a win like that would be great heading into the playoffs.
Ben Johnson is very intentional. I like the way you said that. He doesn't forget, and he looks at every game and takes it one game at a time. That's why I think that he clearly wants to win this one. It's not just to look over and, oh, let's rest our players. Which, by the way, I think there's another little wrinkle in this that might actually help us in the seeding. I just read an article that said that the Eagles, the number 3 seed, are going to be resting significant players going up against Washington Commanders. So they may not be caring about trying to get a higher seed or not. They're resting Jalen Hurts, their quarterback, and there are some more starters that I don't know that will be resting. And so that's a big.
I would assume A.J. Brown probably. Yeah. A lot of impact pieces on defense. Player. Julian Phillips probably. So if you're resting your starters, I mean, like that means
could be
probably a loss.
Yeah, it might be in our favor. And so for me, again, looking at this game, like, yes, I think that this is going to be pivotal going up against Detroit. I think Ben Johnson is going to have everybody ready and prepared. But if we're looking on into the playoffs again, the reason why I'm not necessarily worried about who we play, you have two of the options of quarterbacks that are, one obviously already in the division with Jordan Love, but another one that has been in the NFC North from the entirety of his career since before he left to LA, and
And he's
that's Matt
probably
Stafford.
second in the MVP voting now
And
after that game.
And so I mean, you know he's going to be used to the weather. I don't think that's something that's going to overwhelm Matt Stafford as a quarterback, and he's been on a heater this year. And so, do I worry about that? Yes, there's a little bit of concern if we do go up against the Rams. But again, I think that we have the team that travels in any weather with our run game, our offensive line, and you see the improvement. We just went toe to toe with the hottest offense in the league. Caleb Williams is taking his game to another level, in my opinion. You see the confidence just oozing off of him now. I think you carry that on into the playoffs no matter who we play. You just got to get this defense right. That's my only concern, is making sure that you don't, give up point for point with the other team. And we'll be fine, in my opinion.
Is that really a concern for us though? I keep wondering this, right? And I know, right, we've seen 3 times this season they've given up big totals. Bengals, Lions, last week versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
But is this a real concern for us? Remember, this is a defense that we were praising DeMarco Jackson for the job that we did. This is a defense that we were praising CJ Gardner-Johnson for how he came in and played. We were praising Dennis Allen for how he's been able to deal with his lack of pass rush all season long. We know what the issue is, right? But we got to just figure it out. Like, is it a concern for us going into the playoffs? Here's the thing for me. Not to say that I'm not like, I feel confident that the defense is going to go out there and kill a quarterback. Maybe Austin Booker, right? We've seen him do that a couple of times. But outside of that, like, I still feel like there's the defenses you head into the playoffs that could take the football away, that is incredibly opportunistic, that maybe just got a little taste of humble pie and has to relock back in. Like, I don't know if I have this same fear that everyone has where now all of a sudden 2 games left in the season, we're like, the defense is done. It's the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. We weren't saying that 2 weeks ago.
We weren't saying that 2 weeks ago. What the only thing that scared me is that it didn't seem. I'm not saying that they didn't go into the halftime locker room and say, "Hey, we need to tighten up on defense. We need to do this. We need to kind of make these adjustments." I'm not saying Dennis Allen didn't do his job, but
nobody does that at halftime. There are no halftime adjustments.
Well, it sure did look like it, because from my vantage point, Dennis Allen looked like he went in and ate a sandwich and came back out and say, "Let's keep giving up points."
He probably did. That's what they do at halftime. There's no such thing as halftime adjustments. I keep saying this.
Oh boy, like for me, it was like, can you at least get a little bit more tight on coverage? Can we see some more blitz packages? That was my only thing, is you're not getting to the quarterback. Brock Purdy is going to get that ball out in 2 seconds or less and be efficient. Like for me,
so what is blitzing going to do? Because I keep hearing this. Why didn't we blitz
pressure
more? Why didn't we? But it doesn't. That's the thing. We've seen him blitz. He sent Jaquan on a blitz. He sent Tremaine on a blitz. They got hemmed up. Brock Purdy was getting rid of the ball. Blitzing on Brock Purdy is not a good plan.
Yeah, you're probably right. It didn't look good. I didn't see any differences in adjustments. Like, it was loose coverage everywhere. He did what he wanted to do. And so that was my only concern, is that if you do face a San Francisco 49ers in the first game, even though it is at home, we have home cooking, and maybe that might be the advantage as Brock Purdy gets in a really cold environment. Maybe that's where we can kind of see a big difference. You got to make some adjustments. You have to make some adjustments on defense, because we now can see we can keep up. And Caleb said as much. We can play with anybody on offense. Yeah. It's not just the run game now. Our identity is we have a complete offense. You got Roma Dunze coming back. Luther Burden thankfully avoided major injury. And so that's what I'm hoping, is that you now have one side of the ball that is, in a sense, and I think Dan Orlovsky even said it, is Super Bowl ready as far as an offense, but now your defense is the one lagging behind. So
and that's my point in all of this, right? So let's say, take the 49ers game out of it. Would you feel like this defense was before that 49ers game? 49ers game was a bad
Opportunistic.
game.
You're right. Opportunistic. The same things we've been saying all day, where the
Nothing
metrics are, we're
changed.
great at takeaways, but we're horrible in everything else.
In fact, most of us literally predicted a high-scoring game in the 49ers game because of how good the 49ers offense was.
You're right. I did.
Literally, people were like, are you going to be able to keep pace with the 49ers offense? It's like on the other side of that game, people are like, I can't believe, even though I predicted the Bears defense to give up 35 points, that defense went out there and gave up 35 plus points. What a shocker. Like, we knew that was going to happen versus that offense. We've seen that happen to good defenses. Remember Urlacher and them getting 50 put on them? Right? Like, we've seen that happen before, and then the defense locked back in. So I don't go into the playoffs, right? The 2 seed, the 3 seed, whatever it is. I don't go into the playoffs with this concern, because as I get into December, I'm seeing a confident Caleb Williams. I'm seeing a dominant Caleb Williams. I'm seeing a Caleb Williams that is on time, on target, and is winning football games. And he is on pace to possibly go out here and break 4,000 yards, which I kind of don't care about anymore. I'm pairing that with a defense that I've seen all season that everybody has told me, can you keep the turnovers going all year? I don't believe it. You've kept the turnovers going all year. Now, what did concern me in that 49ers game, thought there were some business decisions made on the defensive end. I'm very sure that will show up on tape. But I thought there was a little bit of what's the right way to say it?
Olay defense.
Nah, not really an Olay, just he's gone.
Oh,
when you accept the whooping, right? Like when you just all right, here we go. All right, you don't argue over it. You just like, I got to take this one. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight and you realized you was gonna lose at the beginning of the fight. Like that was how it felt like the defense was. I had one of them where nobody told me he was the U18 boxing champ. I've told this story multiple times. Hit him dead in his mouth. And he just went, oh, that was a good one. And I went, protect your face. All I said was protect the face. You're going to die.
You didn't know you were boxing a U18 player.
Nobody told me I was boxing the U18 boxing champ. He was talking crazy. He was kind of getting mouthy
back in the day.
You know what I mean? Nobody told me this. I swung. I caught him dead in the jaw. I was the person in school. I was like, hey, look, we both getting suspended. So
let's just have a little fun.
I'm not going to lose the fight and get suspended. Bruh, that boy. Yeah, it was a lot of body shots. He was very respectful. He's one of my guys to this day. He's good people.
That's what's up. That's how I usually work. At the beginning
of that fight, I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to win this.
Yeah.
That's how the Bears defense looked to me. Like, it was just like, oh, well, it's over. And by the time the fourth quarter came and you were still keeping pace, I never saw them pick up the intensity that happened on the first play. What have we seen from this defense that they've been able to overcome all season? They have played hard. They have fought hard. They haven't given up. And they've tried to make every single play that they could. I didn't feel like we saw that. That concerns me possibly heading into the playoffs, but we have seen that one time in a season of 17 games where they have been, for the most part, a really good unit.
Yeah, usually you do see this defense, play through adversity. We've seen throughout the year them get a lot of injuries, rack up a lot of, hurt players, and then what happens? The guys from the second string step up and do their job. Like you mentioned, the DeMarco Jacksons. At a certain point, you had Ruben Hippolyte out there. Your Josh Blackwell's. Like there's people who have always stepped up, and so that was my concern, is that you're getting everybody back healthy for the most part, and it's still looking like it's far behind where it needs to be going into the playoffs. And then Dennis Allen has this mentality of bend but don't break. Yeah. For me, I've always had a problem with that when it comes down to making sure you're winning at the end of the day. Like, bend but don't break to me says, okay, you're playing a quarterback like Brock Purdy who will kill you in that mentality, because he doesn't mind taking the dink and dunk. When you're going up against a player who wants to, flash his arm and his mobility and do it all and only throw the Hail Marys, fine, that might work. But when you have a cerebral quarterback who is smart enough to know, oh, bend but don't break, I got an open guy here, 5 yards. That gives me the first down. Oh, I got another first down right here. Another first down, oh, look at that touchdown. Every single time that's not a recipe for success in the playoffs, because as we know, the cliche goes in most sports, defense wins championships. I feel like teams are going to continue to tighten up in their adjustments and their schemes for the playoffs, and we're not going to be talking about going back and forth. Caleb can put up 30 points, but if we keep giving up 40, we're done. So that's my concern.
I would agree with that. I think the thing for me is the only team that I'm maybe concerned about in the NFC being a whole team is the Rams. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
They are complete. Yeah.
Seattle, that boy Darnold starting to look like Sam Darnold again. He having some fourth quarters that make him look really good. But Sam Darnold's starting to look real, let me hold on to this football again. Now, Brock Purdy held on to the ball a long time in that game, got an advantage of you. You're still going to have to put up points. And versus a much tougher defense. But I don't think Seattle's a complete team. Carolina is just two offensive lines and an offensive line and a defensive line. I'm not concerned about Green Bay. Not to say I'm overlooking them. I mean, they can beat you. But I think that's going to come down to who's going to play harder in that game. You just saw that you can go toe-to-toe with San Fran, who might win the NFC. Like, I feel like this is a entire playoffs of there is a major flaw on just about every team, maybe minus the Rams, although that defense looking a little bit different. And maybe you could say Buffalo, like if they got it all together, like there really isn't a flaw, but that defense looks very flawed right now, I guess. So it's like, is this the year for you to do it in an unorthodox way? Possibly. If you can make a Super Bowl run, like, is this the year for you to go in there and possibly do it in a manner that doesn't make sense for you to be here? That might be the case. It might be an off year. It might be one of those years like when Pat Mahomes went to a Super Bowl with no tackles. And I'm just like, well, how the heck you do? Joe Burrow goes to the Super Bowl with no offensive line. What the heck is that? How'd you get there? I'm so confused. Like it truly might just be one of those weird playoff years. And I think the parity in the NFL playoffs overall, like the AFC, Denver is confusing. Bo Nix is not good. Like, he's actually like very bad this season, and yet they keep winning. Patriots possibly a scary team there. Pittsburgh is gonna lose the division anyway, so that'll be Baltimore. Need that steak, you know.
Oh boy, shout out to Drew.
Need that steak. Jacksonville is maybe one of the better teams that is surprising this year.
Although that's surprising.
Hey, here's the thing: when you look at Jacksonville's schedule, it starts to make a lot of sense.
Very, very soft, very comfortable.
Jacksonville might be frauds, bro. Jacksonville might be frauds. Like if you look at their schedule, let me pull their schedule up here real quick. They beat the Colts. Colts suck, but Phillip Rivers, he's dealing. But they beat the Colts. They beat the Broncos. That's a good win. Broncos a good win. You beat the Jets. You beat the Colts again. Colts suck. You beat the Titans. Titans suck. You beat the Cardinals. Cardinals suck. You beat the Chargers. They beat the Chargers, I believe, on a short week after losing both of their offensive tackles. So I kind of get it there. I think at one point, literally, they pulled Justin Herbert out of the game because he was getting beat up so much. You lost to the Texans. You beat the Raiders. Raiders suck. You beat them 30-29. You got destroyed by the Rams. You got beat by the Seahawks. There's a lot of sucking in there that seems like Jacksonville is doing. Right, Joan Joe? I mean, they beat a lot of suck. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I've been fortunate by his good soft schedule. Yeah, no, that's facts.
So I look at this playoffs as a real opportunity here for the Bears.
Yeah. It's
before you're able to get everything right, you might have a chance to go all the way this year, because I think there's a lot of flawed teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's why I think that it's not, I heard that it would be sunshines and rainbows. Well, first of all, it was sunshines and rainbows that we already got to where we got to with the wins, because you called 9. I said about 13. And so if we can get to, obviously 12, that would be nice. But going into the playoffs, the NFC Championship game, to me would be the icing on the cake. But can I foresee a path where we make it to the Super Bowl? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As I said, this team, this offense can play with the likes of anybody on both sides. Whether it be the NFC, the conference, or if we make it to the Super Bowl, whoever comes out of the AFC. And so that's the most surprising and exciting thing, is that the Bears are in a position to be ahead of schedule and actually win and continue to just get better and better. And so I'm excited about the opportunities and what could be coming up.
Yeah, and you want to be in a position where how this all ends, honestly, if San Francisco gets the 1 seed, you were going to be playing in Santa Clara anyway. Maybe you get there 2 weeks early and you get acclimated to the weather in the NFC title game.
Go. Yeah, there you go.
You find a way to try and win that. Like, we'll see what ends up happening there. Shout out to Super Bear for the super chat. He said, this isn't even a debate. You go for the 2 seed. You want as many home playoff games as possible. Packers be damned. They are reeling right now. I feel pretty good about them taking them down in Chicago. Listen, I think what we've seen out of these Bears-Packers games, it doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter if it's Malik Willis, if it's Jordan Love, they're going to play you incredibly tough. Matt LaFleur is very good at his job, and he has his team prepared for whatever is thrown away. You got to find a way to go out there and out tough them. You got to go out there at home and find a way to put them away early, and you have them beat up right now. And they're back in their normal spot. The 7 seed has been the 7 seed pretty much. I think the first year the 7 seed came out, the Bears got it. Since then, Green Bay. So that's their spot. They're used to playing a road game in this spot. They're used to going in and having tough competition in this spot, and they have won. So you can't take them lightly. I'm not saying that it's it's an easy win or anything.
Yeah.
I just feel like it is the kind of win, and I've said this a couple of times this week. It's the kind of win that if you lose, it's one of the worst losses you're going to feel. It's going to be a gut punch. But if you win, that's the kind of confidence you get from a win that Super Bowl runs are made off of. That's the kind of, we really got it. Oh, we really can go out here and beat anybody. That great runs in the playoffs are made off of. So I wouldn't be like I think it would be such a great confidence boost. I'm okay not having to buy. I'm okay not sitting guys going into this week, because I think the more you play guys, the more momentum you have going into the playoffs. So we'll see what ends up happening there. I love what we're seeing as far as the matchup goes. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Do you like the Bears possibly getting the 2 seed here, or do you want to see them get the 3 seed? Listen, Philly might be avoiding Green Bay here, if we're being honest. Philly ain't that banged up.
Yeah.
Philly might be in a spot where they're like, Evan, we got the 3 seed. We want the Rams. Or Sam, like, we don't want to play Green Bay. You've seen them now 3 times in a calendar year. This will be your first time playing them in January, and you'll be seeing them 2 more times next year as well. This is one where you want to set a precedent, set a dominance. Let's see you do it right here. Let's keep it moving along. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate y'all for showing love as always. JC.
Yep.
We do got a game this week, though. Been talking a lot about the future. Been talking a lot about the playoffs. There is, in fact, a game this coming week versus the Detroit Lions, who it will be interesting to see all the guys that they end up playing. I would assume some of the main names are going to play: Jamison Williams, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if Monty's going to play, but we'll see. Their offensive line is pretty banged up at this point. Their defensive line is banged up. I mean, their defense as a whole is pretty much banged up. But this is not a team that you can overlook. You know what Dan Campbell has at stake. And I got a call today on ESPN that, there are Lions fans who are saying, we beat the Bears twice. We beat Ben Johnson twice his first year that he left us. I'm okay with that. I think Ben Johnson knows that. I think 52 still chaps his backside a little bit. Yeah, and I think that this is a game that the Bears are going to go into full regalia, not holding anything back, trying to put 50 back on this Lions team to end the season. JC, with that being said, what are your keys to a Chicago Bears victory over the Detroit Lions. Give me key number 3 right there.
Key number 3 for victory over these Lions is going to be the rushing attack. The Lions are giving up. They're literally middle of the pack when it comes to rushing yards per game at 117.
And it has fallen off drastically over the last few weeks.
It has. And so for me, if you're going to sit certain people, I don't know if what Dan Campbell has in store for his starters. We know they're eliminated from the playoffs. And so does that mean that you have an even greater chance of getting more yards than that? You have a really good rushing attack in DeAndre Swift and Cal Monangai, who I feel are going to be fresh because they only had about 17 carries last game. You didn't really need them as much because Caleb was just throwing the rock and putting up points left and right. And so I feel like those two guys can really do some damage and kind of take us home when it comes to ending out the season on a W. That rushing attack has to be there from the start of the game.
Yeah, key number 3 for me is looking at Caleb Williams. I know people are going to say that Ben Johnson's going to force feed Caleb Williams this week because 270 yards away from being the Chicago Bears' first 4,000-yard passer, which would be pretty cool.
Hello.
Throw some air words on that. That'd be pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Take the layups. They're going to be playing you a little bit deeper because they know that Ben Johnson wants the explosive plays. With how banged up they are, they're not going to want to give up the explosive plays. That means that the passes will be there underneath. Caleb, do what you did in that San Francisco game. Find the guys underneath. Find Colston Loveland. Find Luther Burden. Find DJ Moore, who hopefully, right, like the under talked about part in all of this. And the one part I don't know about the defense, I don't know who's sick and who isn't. There's a lot of guys that were sick. Hey, and you can see DJ Moore was on the sideline essentially like dying out there. And he went out there basically to be a decoy and try and block some. Yeah. I really want to see how the team bounces back from being sick, how you bounce back off of a tough loss that you had right there at the end of the game. And to me, I think that happens with a lot of those underneath routes, some good blocking to turn those into explosive plays, take the gimmies if they're there.
My number 2 key for a Bears victory over the Detroit Lions is going to be, I'm pinpointing a specific player who didn't really have a good game. We talk about him throughout the season as being really, really good, a Pro Bowl snub, guy who might have a contract coming his way if the Bears want to sign him, takeaway leader, interception guy, Nahshon Wright. You got exposed. You got exposed, and they went to Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tungus. Whoever was sticking you, they took advantage of that. I don't want to see a repeat of that in this game. Again, I don't care who's sitting, who's starting. I need Nahshon Wright to make sure that he's solidifying and being a little bit more disciplined in his route coverage, not letting off in spacing when it comes to the double moves. That kind of gets him off of his rocker a little bit. And so for me, tighten up on your coverage skills a little bit, Nahshon, because I feel like outside of that, Jalen Johnson obviously is a shutdown corner. I feel like Tariq Stevenson actually did a really good job. There wasn't a lot of noise coming his way, and CJ did his thing as well. And so I feel like as much as you're a takeaway king and you take advantage of those opportunities where you can intercept the ball or get past deflections, you need to be a little bit better in coverage in a pivotal game like this for your seeding.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think that's going to be massive for this team. The coverage as a whole is going to be huge for this team. And I'll be honest with you. There's one name here, and he has had a much better season. He has struggled since coming back a little bit, and I think that is, kind of chapped some of the Bears fans here. Tremaine Edmonds. Time to wake up, my boy. Time to get back into the form that you had. I get it. You were banged up. You need to get back into game speed. I understand all of that. The playoffs start next week. This is a great week for you to figure it all out and get back to the guy you were, who was creating pressure, who was using that length to be in the quarterback's face, right, and force tough passes, right? There's a lot of tip passes in there that did lead to interceptions. That aggression, I feel like, we didn't see out of Tremaine. I actually wanted to see a lot more of DeMarco Jackson once we kind of saw that Tremaine wasn't coming with it that day. Like, that would have been a big boost to the team. And Dennis Allen just kind of didn't get him involved in the game plan as much. Tremaine Edmonds got to wake up, or there's got to be somebody that you could slide in there in case he does continue to play in the manner that we saw in that last game, because that to me was one of those games where you really, really needed that big man in the middle, and he looked like he was playing small. Again, very early in the game, they get a couple of stops on the first few drives. Tremaine's flying around. We didn't see it again. I don't know if that was sickness. I don't know if that was, taking a week off, enjoying the heat. I don't know what it was, but hopefully we see that improve here versus Detroit.
Yeah. All right. My first and most important key to a Bears victory over these Detroit Lions in week 18 is Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, the coach. This is your redemption game. This is your pride game. You got shellacked in week 2. You got completely just ran over by your former buddy in arms, Dan Campbell. And so, what do you do to respond? How do you answer the bell this time? You came off of a very, very good coach game in going into Levi Stadium and hanging tough with the 49ers. I mean, I thought that was the best offensive output for the season with you and Caleb doing your thing. And so I need to see that same output. I want to see that same resurgence of points. Hopefully we can get to about 42, and maybe the defense will do their thing and give up only maybe 20 points. I'm not saying that you will have a 32-point gap at the end of the game like they did us, but it would be nice if there was a little bit of a cushion come fourth quarter because of your play calling. And so I need Ben Johnson to be on his game from snap one.
Yeah, listen, I would love that. And you know what? The big one for me is I want to see the Bears respond to them letting down their coach. That's my number one. Now, I'm not talking about in the game that we just saw. As players, though, the one thing that I didn't see in that first Detroit game off of a bad loss was you say, our coach won't this one. We got to play tougher. We got to be stronger. We got to be more physical. We got to be more aggressive. We have to be the one who makes sure that this is a respectable game for our coach. Now I need you to do that times 2. You bring up Ben Johnson, my number one key. I need the players to lock in this week. You got the talent. You now know everything you need to know from week 2 means absolutely nothing now in week 18. Go out there and play the game that we've seen you play this entire season. At the bottom, at the end of the day, the bottom line of it all, tackling, running, catching, throwing. That's football.
Basics.
You sit there and be, focus on this, focus on that, yada, yada, yada. You got to want to. You got to give a rat's you know what. You got to still have a chip on your shoulder that they embarrassed you and embarrassed your head coach as he went back to his city. That they made you the laughing stock of the NFL at one point this season, and you had to work very hard to destroy that narrative. That's what I want to see this Bears team go out there and put over the top and say, you know what? That'll never happen again. That 52 points that you had, it'll never happen again. Now, I did kind of just have them versus San Francisco, but at least you were able to fight back.
Toe.
So to me, I think that is the most important thing. We actually did get the injury report out here. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is a DNP with a concussion. Roma Dunze, DNP yet again with a foot. Now, this is a walkthrough Wednesday. So, we've seen DNPs turn into limited. Josh Blackwell was limited. Luther Burden limited. Nick McLeod limited. He's sick now. Nick McLeod with an illness. Ozzie Trapillo was limited with a knee quad, so keep an eye on that. That's an important one there. Olamide Zaccheaus was a full go coming off of his illness. Remember, we didn't have him in that San Francisco game either. But good to see that you're getting Luther Burden back onto the field. I would expect at some point to see Roma Dunze probably back on the field here, more than likely tomorrow. And just go out there and get the job done, man. Go out there and play with pride. Don't. What we saw in San Fran was a team that you could tell was just like, we're tired. It's the end of the season. We're already getting clapped. It is what it is. And in our defense that did that. And an offense that was like, nah, we're not doing this. We got to make plays. Let's go. I need the defense to lock back in that way in this game. So hopefully we'll see. Also, just some housekeeping. Noah Sewell has been placed on IR, more than likely ending his season with the Chicago Bears here, which is tough because Noah Sewell was playing pretty well for most of the season. He was kind of figuring some things out, stopped over pursuing, overrunning guys, but the injuries have been the plague of his career, and more than likely it seems like that's going to continue here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But again, that's why we praise the depth of the team. We know that we have guys that are going to step up. And, again, you look at DeMarco Jackson and his Player of the Week award. So, you have a guy that can come in and handle and take care of business. So it's going to be exciting. This game going into the playoffs, I mean, we're talking about a playoff Bears team, fellas. Folks, like this is exciting times.
That is crazy to say, bro.
The Bears, the very start of it. This is not we're not in the middle of it. Like, this is the start of the buildup. We're ahead of schedule, and we're talking about the Bears potentially being playoff contenders, not pretenders. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. Let's hope that we see a very competitive next couple of weeks of football. We'll keep you guys covered on everything here on the Windy City Breeze. Hit that like button if you have not done so. That thumbs up, man. I know a lot of y'all driving home. Yeah, I mean, don't do it while you get home. But if you pop back on the video, hit that thumbs up, man. Hey, Jordan, JC, we are over 100 at you. Over 200 at you. 200.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to y'all, man. As always, from Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Is Jimmy Hoffa still in here whining about, like, dog, y'all the 7th seed. Go home. Actually, come see us.
Always an excuse with this guy.
Y'all never were good. Nobody was good. Bro, I wish I could find it. There's an old Boomerang clip, and it reminds me of him. It's just like this small lizard, and he's just like, "You're messing with the order. You don't go messing with the order. Eat me."